Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, from the dashingly black shirt Robbie, the void of the void. Ah, I love it. I hope you guys actually take time out of the day, wish your family, your grandparents, parents, your wife, your brother, your sister, everybody that's close to you, the dog down the street that you probably kick every day because you're a terrible person. Don't do that. It's Thanksgiving. Be thankful he's there for you to take your frustration out of. Things I read on the internet. But wish your family good happy Thanksgiving, and I will be enjoying my Chinese buffet with my friends today. See you guys on the flip side. Let's dig into this deck profile, right? I have been requested the most to present, well, a Metalfoes deck for just once in my life. And, well, it is also Thanksgiving, so we're going to have to go ahead and showcase Mild Turkey, because that's what we do. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone today. And we're going to be covering a little bit of love for both spectrums here, so that you can get the best mileage out of your holiday. And, well, you can go dig out those Mild Turkeys, and you can actually let them see some play today. So, if you guys know, Metalfoes is this deck that continuously goes through its own cards and then does a fusion Shokan and produces relatively large monsters to put the opponent on tilt. And by doing so, you get access to some really unique summoning conditions. And what better way to abuse those summoning conditions than with super polymerization? So super poly, we're going to just chomp off of our opponent's field. One of the best ones that we have to make is actually Alcahest, but who's going to leave a normal monster on the field for us? So Alcahest, one normal plus one Metalfoes to make. Okay. And then we've got Mithrilium, which is just one Metalfoes monster, plus a Pendulum monster to make. So that's relatively easy, because in the Pendulum Magician matchup, you can actually just super poly into this, and you're good to go. Or, you know, we've got Orichalcum, or Orichalc, which is just two Metalfoes to make. And then you've got Crimson Knight here, which is generic technically, because it's one Metalfoes monster plus two monsters with 3,000 or less attack, which you can just hard make this, smash this off of any board. Also, you guys don't know, having Metalfoes Electromite in the mirror match or other matchups in general, this thing does have Metalfoes in the name. And I think a lot of people tend to miss that fact, because they just look at this deck and they're like, oh, it's Metalfoes. Like, you don't get to do like the real full comboing that you used to get under, you know, the previous Master Rules. And while I agree with that, the fact that this card does allow you to turn it into any of your fusions down here, any of these, because they'll have the one Metalfoes monster requirement, you should have no problem using it. Also, back to that Pendulum Magician note here. If you find yourself in a situation against Pendulum Magicians where they stick their Electromite, well, feel free to just toggle into any of your other fusions that you have access to. It's easy as 1, 2, and it's gone. And Crimson Knight seeing a little bit more play these days is really good. Before we get any further, though, I owe Alcanel a shout out. He actually sent this in and was like, hey, Robbie, you told me you were looking for something for Thanksgiving. He's like, conveniently, I have Mild Turkey deck. And I was like, why do you just have this? And he was like, well, you know, I've been messing around with Metalfoes. The deck is actually still really good. And, well, Mild Turkey can actually change its pendulum scale. Also, it is a level 4. So, more use that you can kind of get out of the card. But once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided dice until the end of the turn. This card's pendulum scale is reduced by that number. But in the long run, though, it is a high scale, which is pretty important to this deck. I think people do underestimate the fact that one additional high scale can mean life or death. Also, when you go to make Alcahest, it says one normal monster. And, hey, Mild Turkey does meet that requirement, so you are able to tutor into this guy. So, what's going on with the deck? So we are playing triple copies of the Metalfoes of Volflame. Standard, once per turn, target one other phase of card you control, destroy it. and you do get to set that Metalfoe spell or trap card from your deck. So you have plenty of targets. You have the fusion, you have the Fullmetalfoe fusion, you have the counter, and you have the combination. Honestly, all of these cards, for what they actually bring to this deck, are all incredibly powerful in their own right. Also, if you're trying to play triple Metalfoes fusion, don't. Just don't. There are a lot of people out there that are like, oh man, I want to play triple Metalfoes. No, you're bogging down your deck with too many bad cards, and you're going to be mad when you dead draw triple Metalfoes fusion and you can't do anything with it. Like, let's be honest here. The only one that should be abusing this card should be Sky Striker. Now, we also play triple copies of the Gold Driver. Now, do remember, these do not lock you into the specific pendulum. I think that's very important to understand. There is no, you can only pendulum summon Metalfoes monsters. No. So this same thing is our high scale. We have 4 copies of the Mild Turkey, another vanilla monster that we get access to play. And we can pendulum summon out and do our thing. Then we have 3 copies of Silver Red, or Silvered, another low scale that grants us what we've been looking for. Triple copies of Steel, another high scale. And then we play triple copies of Rescue Rabbit. The amount of synergy that this card brings to this deck is actually insane. Starting off with Rescue Rabbit and not getting your rabbit hit by Ash is the craziest feeling in the world with this deck, because you get access to just freely make anything that you want out of this deck, and your opponent just stares at you and goes, but why though? And I mean, it's easy as that. Then we play triple copies of the Bisma Gear. The thing that makes this card so good is the free float. This card is destroyed on the field by battle or card effect. You get to add a Metalfoes monster from your deck to your hand during the end phase, and it is a once per turn, so you can't stack multiples of these. Be like, ah, watch me abuse this. It's not how this works. Now, much like Rabbit, we do have triple copies of Unexpected Die. The big thing with this is you need a way to get 2 monsters on the field to go Electromite start combo, and Die, Rabbit are your ways to do that. Outside of that, you might have to make some questionable decisions for some of your plays, but you shouldn't have too much of an issue with it. Of course, the 1/1 for 1, because, you know, Bisma Gear is a level 1. I love the fact that you just multiple synergies. Now we have the 1 Upstart Goblin, 2 copies of Metalfoes Fusion. As I said, 3 is too much. 1 copy of the Quick Play Fusion, because making this on the opponent's turn for an Alcahest quick effect suck up for interruption is still brilliant. Triple copies of Super Poly. As I said, the ability to toggle with your opponent's monsters is extremely key. It's not like hero level interactivity, but any sort of play that will allow you to control the opponent's field and get that couple of second interaction is what you're going for here. Of course, 1 copy of Emergency Teleport. Everybody up here psychic, except for the turkey. Then we play 1 copy of Double or Nothing. Now, you might be looking at this and going, really? You do have level 4s in this deck. You have 6 of them right here. A Rescue Rabbit can mean Utopia OTK on the opponent. And it's very important to understand and to approach that method of madness with this deck, because you can do it. Then we have triple copies of the Metalfoes counter. If card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, it's special summon a Metalfoes monster from the deck, and then during either player's turn, except damage step, banish this card to add 1 face-up Metalfoes Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So this basically grants you floatability and grants you the ability to toggle back something that you've actually popped off for a resource. Counter is a very good card. Then we have triple copies of Combination. Once per turn, fusion monsters fusion summoned. You can target 1 Metalfoes monster in the graveyard with a low level than that fusion summon monster and special summon it. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to add a Metalfoes monster from your deck to your hand. So, I mean, you can pop this with your scales, search for something, or you can recruit off of this to bring back your fusion material, which is actually quite good. Then we have extract 1 Land Phonicus, 1 Electromite, 1 Saruja, 1 Baguski, 1 Utopia Double, 1 Abyss Dweller, and 1 Utopia. Then we have the 2 Gobbees of Alcahest, 2 Mithrilium, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Violet Chimera, 1 copy of the Orichalk, and 1 copy of the Crimson Knight. Side deck here we have triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, triple copies of Twin Twister, triple copies of Some Limit, triple Solemn Steve Reich, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment, wrapping up this Happy Holiday deck profile from your MCOL40 truly. Now, go out there, give this a try, have some fun with your family, and quite honestly, just take the day off to relax and have a good time. Hope you guys have a good time with your family. If you guys aren't celebrating Thanksgiving, ay, the bloodbath of the ye old Black Friday comes tonight. Alright guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanColt40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.